Hello, crypto world! Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. So in this video, I'd like to talk about Bitcoin, what is going on the Bitcoin chart. Is this the end of the Bitcoin bull run, as I've seen on X as of late, or is there more yet to come? Well, in this video, I would like to delve into that question and examine a multitude of different bull run structures and compare them to today's chart. So let's get started. So for Exhibit A, I'd like to examine the very first structure that ever took place on the Bitcoin chart. Now, some of you are familiar with this structure. It's very difficult to see the way it is right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it as a fractal so you can easily see what this structure looks like. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this structure and match it to the current Bitcoin chart. I'm going to match this part to the move up and the move down, and then this part to the recovery. Here's what this would look like. Now, once again, I matched it to today's timing, height, and depth. So I matched this move up and this decline to the size of what we see on today's chart. And then I matched the recovery and the bull run part to what has taken place so far and what is still yet to take place. Now, here is an important point that you need to understand about this type of analysis. This is a structural analysis, not a price analysis. What does that mean? So that means I am not concerned on price. If you try to make a connection between this right here and this, well, you are setting yourself up for failure, because I don't know if this is going to go this high. It could go higher, it could go lower. When a fractal repeats, the timing, the height, and the depth do not copy over. The main idea copies over, but the timing, height, and depth, that will be original to the new iteration that is being materialized on the chart. So this is not accurate, folks. Just understand that. Okay, so this is Exhibit A. I call this structure the Genesis fractal, and that is because it was the very first structure ever printed on the Bitcoin chart. Okay, so next I'd like to examine this structure right here that took place from October 2011 to April 2013. If we were to copy this structure and match it to today's current timing, height, and depth, it would look something like this. So while today's chart is slightly different, there is some deviation. The overall structure is basically copying the main theme, where it starts off, it moves up, it kind of goes flat, moves up again, but it does not go parabolic. This parabolic part happens later on in the game. So this is structure number 2. Let's examine the next structure that I would like to look at. Okay, so the next structure took place from July through December 2013. So let's copy and paste this structure onto today's chart. So here is that structure matched to today's timing, height, and depth. And as you can see, price is moving up. Now in this one, it has a larger consolidation that takes place right here before moving up more aggressively. Let's examine the next structure. Okay, so this next structure took place from January 2015 to December 2017. Once again, we will copy and paste this structure onto today's chart, and we will match it for the timing, height, and depth that we find on today's chart. So here is that structure, and once again, we see that price is working its way through this structure. Now, there are deviations just like on all the other ones, but there are similarities that we see as well. One thing to take note of is that there is still more to go on this structure, the part that essentially goes vertical. All right, so let's move on to the next structure. Okay, so the next structure takes place between December 2018 and November 2021. Let's copy and paste this structure onto today's chart, and we will match it for today's timing, height, and depth. And here we go. Now on this one, I took a little more time to match it. So for instance, this part is one fractal, this part here is another, and then this is one big fractal over here. So the reason why I did this is because this was much larger, same with this compared to this part. So to make it scaled down, in this case, I had to shrink it to today's timing, height, and depth. So as you can see, Price is working through this structure. However, once again, it is not in this part that goes up steep and parabolic. Okay, so what I've done is I removed the actual candles of the chart, and I only have the fractals of the different bull runs that we just examined. So as you can see, there is a theme going on here. The bull runs start off with a move up that is not that aggressive. In this move up where it's not too aggressive, we see basic kind of waves that take place within this beginning structure. Now, at a certain point, it changes and it goes up aggressively for the most part. This one right here went sideways before doing that. But as you can see, the basic trend is a gradual move up before a steep move up. So if we were to put those candles back on, we can see, it's hard to see, but we are roughly in this area. So we have so far gone through this part of the structure where it is the more gradual ascent. We are getting close to the point where price will potentially begin to move up more aggressively. Now, there is an exception. This one didn't quite go as aggressive at this point. It eventually did. But for the most part, we can see that the lion's share of these bull run structures, that's what they do. They move up aggressively. The other very obvious thing we can note is that this is not the full bull run yet. So there still is this part of the overall structure to go, the part where Bitcoin begins to move up more aggressively. So let's conclude. So as we can see, Bitcoin has indeed been traversing through what would be considered the first part of its bull run structure. This bull run structure has played out many times, and every time it's played out unique. Even though it is a unique structure every single time, it has similar characteristics that are repeated in every single structure. Namely, that it starts moving up at a modest pace. However, at a certain point, it begins to move up aggressively. We can also see other commonalities such as waves that tend to take place within this first part of the structure. And we even see similarities in this part of the structure with waves that are, in some cases, are more pronounced than others. So in conclusion, I would like to propose that this is not the end of this bull run structure. We still have the most amazing part to go. Now, I don't know the future, but what I do know is that what the past is telling us is that there is more to go in this Bitcoin bull run. Let's remove all these structures. I am a chart structure guy. I'm not a narrative guy. So I examine the structure, and I'm just showing you what I know to be true. To say that this is the end is to say that this time is different. Now, maybe it is, but so far we can see that history says it's not. If you did find this video interesting, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that thumbs up button. This is not financial advice. And if you're not a subscriber yet and you like this type of technical analysis, I recommend hitting that subscribe button. I'll continue to follow this chart as it continues to develop. It is my belief that we still have the most exciting part of the Bitcoin bull run ahead of us. I'm so glad you caught this video. I hope you catch my next one. Have a great day, and bye for now.